I learned that, man, there's a ton of people out there. Just go through the comment section of yesterday's video and you see a ton of people that have experienced the same exact thing within the same time frame. If 2K sees an influx of microtransactions, then that means that what they had planned worked in their favor, and from a business aspect there'd be no reason for them to change what they got going on. Hey, what's up YouTube? You already know it's All City Live TV, and thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about the recent update and why you may be feeling sluggish, or like your jump shots have gotten patched, your defense has gotten patched. You know, it's a real feeling. You know, I streamed the game for about 6 hours yesterday to really take in, you know, all of these new animations that seem to have been added into the game, or at least it just feels like they've been added into the game. I can't say that it's actual fact, but what I can say is that we have enough experience playing NBA 2K20 to know when we're feeling a little different on our players. As you guys can see, I have a 99 paint beast, and my player is playing worse now than when he was at, you know, when I brought him out at 85 overall. You know, he was moving fluidly, and now he's moving sluggish, and there's these animations mid-game where it feels like you're moving laterally, but you're moving diagonally. You're just trying to get up the court or down the court, and he's just stuck in a lateral position. So it feels like it just kind of stalls your gameplay, and it feels real unrealistic out there. So if you guys are out there and you're feeling the same exact things, please let me know in the comment section below. But I wanted to get deeper into like some of the reasons why we may be feeling like this, because the video that I dropped yesterday was called "Everyone Got Patched in the Recent Update." And I got a lot of feedback from that video, so I wanted to address this feedback because there's some factors that we as a community may need to consider as to why this slowdown happened. So the first factor I want to take into consideration is that I have years of experience playing 2K20, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do as well. But I want to say that this has been a consistent thing. I just want to put this out there again. This has been a consistent thing year after year, where you develop a player, you get them maxed out, and that's when you start seeing changes in your player. When you should see an increase in how you play, you actually see a decrease in how you play. At least that, I don't know, maybe it may very well be a mental thing, but I can't say for sure. The way I see it is you should see a noticeable difference when you max out your player to when you brought him out there with no badges and he's an 85 overall. When you jump to 99 overall, you put boost on him, and you got all your badges maxed out, you should see a considerable noticeable difference in how you play out there. There's no way that an 85 overall coming out to play against a 99 overall should even be in competition. There shouldn't be any competitive equalities between the two players, and it seems like when you go out there with a 99 overall, there is some level of like equality between the two players, and I'm like, that should not be the case. I should be able to dominate any 85 overall that comes out there with minimal badges, and especially if all my badges are maxed out. There should be a noticeable difference out there, but unfortunately there isn't. So to me, that's saying that 2K is catering to the casual gamer, and unfortunately, if you cater to the casual, and this is gonna segue into my next topic that I want to talk about, if 2K is catering to the casual gamer, it's gonna be unfortunate for us as a community and for 2K in general, because casual gamers are just that. They're casual. They don't get on as often. So I understand, and I know 2K wants to make the game easier for casual gamers who don't really play as often, and especially there's an influx of casual gamers out there because of what's going on due to the coronavirus. So that's something to take into consideration. But that one, I wanted to segue into the next topic of me learning yesterday after I dropped that video, and I went live as well, and we went live for about 6 hours. If you're not familiar with our live stream, consider joining our live stream. We live stream every single day on 5 different platforms simultaneously. That's Facebook, Mixer, Twitch, D-Live, and we also live stream right here on YouTube. So if you guys want to know what's going on with 2K, you got questions about badges or builds, come on out and join us. We'd love to have you. But we were talking about Xbox and their subscription plan similar to PS Plus on Xbox. They recently added 2K, NBA 2K20 as one of their games to play for free, you know, so you have your subscription and you can download NBA 2K20 and play it for free. And in other words, you don't have to purchase the game, right? So considering that aspect of things, I imagine that there's going to be even a greater influx of casual gamers or new players to NBA 2K20, and I guess 2K doesn't want them to feel overwhelmed when they come to get on the game. I could imagine a new player coming out with a 60 overall trying to compete out there. They're not going to have a great experience, and I imagine 2K wants to make it a little easier for them to be able to compete out there so that way they can continue playing. And hopefully that means that 2K will then increase these sliders back to normal, at least a suitable level that allows us competitive gamers to have a slight bit of enjoyment out there. Because as it stands right now, the game was unbearable yesterday. I tried playing for about 6 hours, and these animations that I was receiving, and then watching low overalls like play very similar to the way that I was playing and my teammates were playing. We had lights out shooters with 30+ shooting badges missing wide open shots, and then you had low overalls out there. Not sure how many badges they had, but they were low overalls and low rep levels. Just with low rep levels meaning that they don't play nearly as often as we play, because if you get a higher rep level, then that means you play way more often. So they were shooting hella contested shots and making these shots while our wide open shots are missing out there. So if you've experienced something like this, please let us know as well. We would love to hear from you. But you know, I get the logic, and I also wanted to segue into the next topic of 2K making competitive players or players that played the game very often want to invest in a new player. And you know, it seems like a win-win for 2K. They lower the sliders to make casual gamers feel like goats out there, and then the competitive gamers in turn, so the casual gamers feel happy, right? They want to continue playing the game, so they start investing in their players because the sliders are lowered. Now the competitive gamers, similar to myself and a lot of other players that we run with, they in turn want to create a new player to find some level of enjoyment. So that's one aspect of it, whether they create a new player or not, to see maybe it's just their player that's been broken, because this seems to be an ongoing issue where your player just automatically needs to be put on the shelf. And we don't just put down the game, we in turn just create a new player, which is insane to me. And I've been guilty of the same thing, where I create a new player and bring them out there, and you have fun for a few weeks, and then there you go, you're done. Your time is done with that player. He's got to be put in retirement, and you go and create a new player, and you invest, and you pay for virtual currency, you pay for that VC, and you go out and you buy boost and all these microtransactions that encompass creating a new player and bringing them out there to compete. And you know, in turn, that makes 2K happy, because 2K is like, well, now we got the microtransactions coming in from the newer players, and we got microtransactions coming in from the competitive players for creating new players or purchasing a ton more boosts for their older players just to kind of compete out there. So those are some of the things that I wanted to mention in today's video, because it's like, what do we do? How do you continue playing a game that's constantly going against its player base? I've never seen a game in all my years playing video games, and in all my years playing 2K, I've never seen it be so aggressive in their approach as far as changes. And it seems like each year is getting way more aggressive in how they change your player and how competitive your player, or what are your player's capabilities, like how capable is your player to compete. So all of those changes are definitely getting more aggressive, and I wanted to kind of touch base with you guys to see if you guys are feeling the same things out there. I know I got a lot of feedback in yesterday's video, and I greatly appreciate all the feedback we received, because that helps us to create more content. You know, after dropping yesterday's video, I learned that, man, there's a ton of people out there. Just go through the comment section of yesterday's video and you see a ton of people that have experienced the same exact thing within the same time frame. So it's a very real thing that 2K has done, because it's within the last couple days that we've noticed these drastic changes to how we play the game and how we approach the game. So going forward, I want to say, listen, if you want to force 2K, like in any business, 2K is definitely a business, and if you want to force them to kind of cater to the consumer, or cater to, like in 2K's case, cater to the player base, then we need to make changes in how we approach the game as a community, how we invest in the game as a community. And you might want to consider limiting your amount of microtransactions, because if 2K sees an influx of microtransactions, then that means that what they had planned worked in their favor, and from a business aspect there'd be no reason for them to change what they got going on. So I recommend limiting your microtransactions, and maybe even picking up a new game. Pick up a new game to kind of buy you, just change the flow of what you got going on. Because if 2K sees the player base increasing, microtransactions increasing, then that means that's a plus on their end, and they leave it like this, or they make it even worse for us. So take those things into consideration. I hope you guys found this video helpful and informative, and if you did, please consider subscribing to our channel, as we're gonna have a ton of NBA 2K20 content coming your way. I'll catch you guys on the next video.